Hi, my name is Canyon Prince. Welcome to day 13 of the human reboot experiment. Um, One of the things I wanted to show you guys today was a program called ComfyUI. So, as we've talked about, any of these AI models are hosted on websites, whether it be OpenAI or Google or Anthropic or Perplexity, Higgs Field, all of these things, right? And so ComfyUI is again like a local um, space for you to be able to do AI workflows, especially in the generative AI field. Now, I know that that is a hot topic for a lot of people, but we're talking about AI, so at some point, you know, we're going to have to talk about generative AI, which is photos and video, right? Generating images. Um, so I spent a bunch of time a couple of months ago, like learning Comfy UI and installing it on a system. It's pretty complicated, many sleepless hours, but I got it to work. I've learned since there's easier ways to you can use a company or a software called Stability Matrix that installs this stuff really easily. I did not know that at the time, and install this thing through code and terminal and things like that. But basically, I want to show you two workflows that I did, and a lot of visual effects production houses are using Comfy UI now because it just gives you a lot more granular control than some of these other generative AI sites where you just put in an image or a text prompt and then pray for the best. So this is Comfy UI. It is a node-based system. So for anybody who's worked in Nuke or DaVinci Resolve and Fusion, you kind of know the node system. It's compared to like After Effects, which is a layer system, top to bottom. Nodes are this, then this, then this. It's like a sequential order of things in a workflow. Weavy AI is another one that's web based, but it is node based like this. So one of the things that I wanted to build a system for is face swapping, right? So if I have lots of projects that I'm playing around with generative AI video and stuff, and I have like lots of actors that I work with on the regular in my movies, my live action stuff that I do. So I've talked to a couple of them, and I was like, hey, I'd like to like use your likeness and put it on this character for this thing. So I wanted to build a face swap workflow that did that. So this is what this workflow looks like, and I'll just take you through this. So basically, this is where we load the image. Because in video generative AI, it's always better to start with images first and then build the video off of that, so that it doesn't just like come up with it out of nowhere. So this was a image that was I made in Mid Journey, and then I basically want to take that dude and put my face on it, and then all of these are different things that are controlling different things and different models and stuff like that. This is built on a LTX um, image version here. And so I'm not going to go too much into the details of this for this video, though I'll probably get into Comfy UI more in later videos. But I just wanted to show you. So we have this whole thing built, and then we just click up here, run, and it's got a percentage, and it'll start going. And you're seeing it's working on this one right now. That's green, and then once it finishes that, it'll go to the next one. This Comfy UI, if you're running on a local machine, it's all about your graphics card and the VRAM, which is video RAM inside it. That's essentially what powers AI and why all the graphic cards on the planet are super expensive and hard to come by and stuff now because so many people are buying them. And it also happened, during the pandemic when people were bit mining and crypto and all of that stuff because they were using that those graphic cards and VRAM to do all of that stuff. So I luckily, got I got a RTX 5070 Ti, which is the 16 gig version of VRAM, and it's not the 5090, but it was also about a quarter of the price of the 5090. I think the 5090, I mean, the RTX 5070 Ti that I got for 750, and I think now it's going for 1500. So it's doubled in price. It might even be more than that at this point. So I don't even know. I mean, the 5090s are probably upwards of $4,000 or $5,000 now, which is crazy. So then it's reading these prompts. So this is where we put in the prompts, negative and positive prompts, saying like, hey, change the face, but don't change anything else of it. And then this is the IP adapter. This is where this Face ID Plus is built. And the cool thing about ComfyUI is it's open source. And anytime with open source, a lot of people are like building things and designing things and then sharing them with everybody. And then you can get different things from different people and try them out and stuff. So it's super cool to just experiment with, and it again like get like the granular detail of things. All right, so this thing is almost done. It's at the K sampler. It's running through, and I like that because I might do run something through ComfyUI and it's good, but I want to change a little something, and I can just tweak a little, all these little numbers and settings that you see. Um, and then we'll see, and it did not work at all. That's fun. He gave him my beard, so I guess that's something. Um, let's try this. Let's do a 0.6. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Then we can rerun it, and it'll just run from here because it already ran all the other stuff. Um, and we'll see if this gets any better. The moment of truth. I'm going to move closer to my face or farther away. That is definitely farther away. Okay, so let's then go up with it. Let's see what happens there. And it's just like a lot of trial and error and just like trying different things. But you can see like it did a good job of, it didn't change any of the rest of the picture. It just changed his face and it blended it really nicely. So a lot of VFX companies are um, using workflows like this for video and things. If they have to, add blood, or maybe like somebody's missing side of their face or they have a scar or something. As productions are getting faster and faster and budgets are getting lower and lower, sometimes you don't have time to do that, or it's like a thing that got added in post. Oh, he should have this, or oh, we missed something, right? Like I did worked VFX on a movie last year, and like some of the shots that they had, uh, one of the characters shot another character in the next scene. They should have had blood on their face, but they didn't. And so, we went in and added the blood and stuff. You can't really see where that was dropped in there. So, again, it's not my face, but it does have my kind of my scraggly beard and things. If look compared to um, this original photo, it's definitely a different guy, right? That guy looks like Lance Hendrickson. And then this guy's got a little bit more of me in it. We're not quite there yet, but again, I would keep tweaking this until we got something good. So another thing that I build out, there's things called Loras, which Loras, when you hear about like Ben Affleck's company. They just sold to Netflix and stuff, where they're like training AI and building models. They're essentially building Loras, where it's like you give them all this information, whether it's photos or videos, and you're teaching it on that. So you can actually build and train your own Loras. So I wanted to test this, and so I took basically a bunch of headshots that I've gotten over the past, I don't know, 5 years or so. Um, and I just took all of those headshots and trained a Lora on it. So then I built this workflow that essentially I can drop in that Lora and create a a shot similar to that, right? So I have in here, this is the Lora, Canyon Lora. So that's plugged in. And then I don't need, well, I'll keep that one. This other one is one I added an additional step in the workflow that will give detail, because lots of times with AI and stuff, it looks kind of AI. So this gives it some nice natural detail. And then in the text prompt, I have Canyon underscore AI. That's the name of Laura. So it's saying it's a picture of him, man, photo real, skin detail, professional actor headshot, cinematic. And then it has some negative prompts: model face, perfect symmetry, idealized beauty, influencer look, smooth skin. So you can adjust these prompts and stuff based on what you want to do. But the purpose of this workflow was, hey, can I make a real looking headshot without stepping in front of a camera? So we'll run this and we'll see what happens. And again, it's starting here, which is loading. This is based off the Flux model, which is a free image model. You can plug in other image models that are like API based, so things like Nano Banana and GPT image and things like that. But Flux is a free one. It's an open source image generator, and it's pretty good. They just release LTX as a video generator, open source. So you can, for videos, you can use that inside of ComfyUI now, which is really cool. Because again, that stuff gets expensive, right? Because any of these sites, every time you run something, it's costing you money. Sometimes it's only a fraction of a cent, and sometimes like it's a couple bucks. So the more I can move my workflow into ComfyUI on free models, and the models are getting better and better every day, then the less money I have to spend. And that's kind of my goal with all this is twofold. It's like build fully localized systems that just live on in-house, and then also like bring the cost down as low as possible. Because again, it's like, if you're developing something and you want to actually use like generative AI and stuff to actually, like, let's say, create a short, or even a feature or something, like the amount of iterations and tools and things that you're going to have to do, that's going to add up to, I mean, it's not going to be anywhere near making $100 million movie, but it'll add up in price. And so I'm just trying as much as I can to keep the cost down, so that I can keep playing, especially when you're like trying out different things and kind of learning this. It's like you don't want to be also spending a bunch of money while you're learning and trying things out. So ComfyUI is a great thing to look at. I will say it's definitely like a bit on the tech heavier side of things, you know. Um, but once you understand it, then you understand it. It's a lot like Unreal Engine. When I first started using Unreal Engine, back during the pandemic, there was a pretty high learning curve, and it took me like a couple years to hit the point where everything just clicked. And then I'm just able to run around and do stuff and build cinematics and run virtual production walls and design environments and lighting and cinematography and all that stuff inside of Unreal Engine. This is the same thing, where it's like there's a curve. And it was like the end of last year, uh, November, December, probably, I was like in this, spending like 10 to 12, 13 hours a day just problem solving and trying to understand this. But now I can pop in and change things up and do, what I want. So we will, this thing's getting ready to finish up. It's reading the negative prompts now. And I haven't run this in a while. So usually too, like we saw in the last thing, you run it once, it takes a little bit of time, but then if you change like just a little fine-tuned number or something, then it goes a lot faster because it only runs through the nodes that have changed. So after that first time, things definitely speed up. And if you have, even a higher video card like a 5080 or a 5090, then this thing, would just blaze through. This is, what I'm working on with the 5070 Ti. And again, it's not bad. I have two systems set up, three systems now that I have Banyan over there on the OpenClaw system, and then like three laptops. So lots of times I'm like doing stuff here, and then I slide over to that computer. I'm doing some stuff, then I might like move, over to the couch and hop on the laptop or whatever. So here you go. This is the headshot of me that is fully AI. So that is just built off of, again, probably like 20 headshots that I've gotten over the years. So it understands what I look like. I usually have the buzz cut and the beard, except for 5 years where I had really long hair and a giant beard. But I didn't put any of those photos in. I just did, used photos of this. And, it understands the style and the lighting and the cinematic, the shallow depth of field, the lighting on my face with the little Rembrandt going on here, and then even my positioning and how I kind of like tilt my head a little bit and kind of look a little serious and pissed off. So there you go. And if we were to run this without that detail, this would look a bit more AIE. But with that extra Lora that I put in for skin detail, it just gives it a nice, little thing. And then let me see if I have it built in here. Yeah, then I could, oh, it's doing it now. So then up here I have an upscaler. So that's another thing. If you create images on Higgsfield or any of these, whether it's video or photos, then you have to upscale it too, because lots of the things only like 1080 or 1K, and you pay more the higher it gets. So this has a free built-in upscaler as well. So we just looked at the low res version, which was 576 by 720 pixels, and then it's building this 1152 by 1440, so basically doubling it in pixels. And you can see like it's way more clear, right? Like look at that eye, that's nuts. And it like even added some more detail, like these kind of like age spots going on here. I don't know if it has it down here. Yeah, it doesn't really have it. So it's actually adding, not just upscaling the sharpness, but it's adding more detail. In the one in the bottom, my nose is like totally out of focus. My beard, like look at these hairs and stuff, and the lips. Uh, so there you go. Like that is, I don't know if anybody would know the difference between that being an AI shot and my actual headshot. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Because I think this is great. Like I still act, but not a ton. And I haven't paid for headshots in years because I have so many friends who are, just photographers and are like, hey, you want to take some shots? And I do it. But it'd be cool, if I do need new shots, or I'm like, oh, I need to, be a doctor or something, I could just, type in like Canyon AI as a doctor in the ER, and then it would make it. So something to think about, and something to be aware of. Again, ComfyUI, node-based workflows, localized workflows. So this is not going out into the world anywhere. Nobody else is seeing it other than all of you that I'm sharing it with on this video, but this all lives on my system and it never bleeds out outside. So it's great for projects that are, you have NDAs, or if you're working post on for somebody else's movie or something, like you don't want that stuff to leak out. So ComfyUI is a great um, tool to handle all of the generative AI visual type stuff. So that's it for day 13 of the human reboot experiment. As always, thanks for the comments, the likes, the shares, the follows. And if there's anything that you want to see in the world of AI, just let me know in the comments or shoot me in a DM and I'll try and do something. And I will see you back here tomorrow for day 14 of the human reboot experiment. Thanks a lot.